Welcome back to AMMA SAT. So we're going to talk about episode 11, and then let's just click drills to get to the topic. So last time we talked about probability, and this time we're going to talk about rates and units. Let's just click in and get to the problem. We actually have talked about this problem when we were talking about solving functions, right? So today we're going to skip this problem and try to use another example. Let's just click next and then get to the next one. All right, so a text service charges a flat fee of $4 plus 2.5 per mile traveled. If a ride costs $19, how many miles was the ride? Actually, this is not so much of a rate thing, but it's related. Actually, it's still the function thing. So let's just take a look at it. How do we solve a word problem by listing out the function? So the question asks us how many miles was the ride? Let's say X miles was the ride. And then we know that the starting point is a $4 flat fee. So you have to pay for $4 no matter how long you travel, right? And then on top of that, you have to pay $2.5 per mile. And then you have traveled X miles. Then of course, you have to pay 2.5 times X, that much dollars, right? And then this whole value is going to be equal to 19. That's how much you pay in total. And then you solve the X out of this equation. So 2.5 X minus 4 on the left side minus 4 on the right side. 2.5 X is equal to 15. And then X is going to be equal to 15 divided by 2.5, right? So, and this thing, let's say, is this 6? So this thing is equal to 6. All right, so we get the answer B. Let's check our answer. All right, great. We get the answer correct. And then again, and if you still have your questions about this problem, you can always discuss with Emma, and she's going to explain things with you. And if you're using iPad app, you can turn on the voice mode and you can talk with her in voice. And she's going to reply in voice too. That's quite an experience. Let's take a look at the next problem. Let's see if we can get a real rate problem. This is about the rate. Let's say a car travels 180 miles on 6 gallons of gas. At this rate, how many miles can the car travel on 11 gallons of gas? Let's just move it here and clear the board. And so 180 miles is related to 6 gallons. You use 6 gallons to travel 6 gallons of gas to travel that long a distance. And then what if you have 11 gallons of gas, right? So basically you can do an equation. You can travel X miles. So 180 over X is going to be equal to 6 over 11. This is the ratio function. And then you can solve the function by double cross. So 6x by doing the double cross technique, right? So 6x is going to be equal to 180 times 11. And then X is going to be equal to 180 times 11 divided by 6. And this thing is going to be 30, so it's right 330 miles. So the answer is B. Great, so we get the thing. All right, so the big thing that I really want to emphasize is how to do this thing over here. Let's just get the notes. So this is the old one. Let's get a new one here. New. All righty. So about the rate, oopsies. So yeah, we're good. So about the rate, actually, see 180 miles divided by X miles, and then for the numerator, it has to be the gas that 180 miles uses, right? So that's the 9 gallon of gas. And then the X miles, it uses 11 gallon of gas. So always use this fraction shaped equation and then solve it. So when you solve such kind of equation, I don't know if I have talked about this before, but the technique is pretty simple. Just double cross. Do the multiplication by using double cross, which means you're going to multiply X with 9 and 180 with 11. And put either of the product on either of the side. It doesn't really matter. You can put 9x on the left side and put 180 times 11 on the right side. Or you can do it the other way around. It doesn't really matter because it's a scale, right? And then solve x. All right, so just remember when you set up an equation with the fractions over here, just make sure that your numerator and your denominator, actually, they're the same thing. And then the other numerator and denominator, they are corresponding to your numerator. So 180 miles for 9 gallons of gas, X miles for 11 gallons of gas. That's pretty much all for today. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.